As we approach the end of this stage, now is a good time to reflect on the choices you've made, the aspects of the drawing you like versus what you didn't like, as well as putting in some final touches to clean up your shapes and improve the gesture of your lines. In this drawing, the light source is coming from the top right hand side of the picture. Based on that knowledge as well as what we see, the darkest halftones are going to be in and around the chin on the face. Keeping a light hand, I will add value along those planes of the face, working to maintain evenness in the application and a sense of breadth. As you lay in these value shapes, it's important also to work on the edges surrounding it, including but not limited to the shadow below the bottom lip and the crease of the lips. Laying in my values in the glabella, I can see that it's slightly lighter than the darkest halftones in the eye socket. It's also a downward facing plane relative to the forehead, and so should be darker than anything, excepting the side planes around the hair. Alright, welcome back. Picking up right where we left off. We'll continue to build up those medium and smaller forms in the face. I'm adding some thicker and darker contours around the hair as well as the intersections between the different forms. This is one of the many ways to add variety to our drawing and enhance the overall visual impression. Returning to the lower third of the face, I'm attempting to build on those values here, slightly darkening them and smoothing out the tone. I've also noticed some darker halftones around the chin that require some softening along your edges. The variations in value in this segment of the portrait are very subtle, so stepping back as often as I can, I am constantly asking, how well does that value shape relate to everything else? Am I staying true to the overall light effects? Are my smaller forms subordinate to the larger forms? What kind of edges intermediate these two planes? And so on and so forth. As you build up these light planes of value along the side plane of the face and the cheek, careful consideration must also be given to the edges surrounding the nose, eyes, mouth, and hair. You can see that both the nose and mouth have relatively soft edges compared to the eye. These types of cross comparisons are key in elevating our portrait to a high degree of realism. With our bottom and most of our side planes firmly established, I proceed to darken the planes in the front of the nose and the lower portion of the side plane. Most of the edges around this region are soft with the exception of the outside border of the wing of the nostril. From a simplified perspective, you can think about the nose as having three main value groups: the shadow in the bottom plane, the side plane of the nose, and the front plane of the nose. The values in each group should be compressed or identical, and the transitions between value groups soft and continuous. Once the values are established around the nose, I take my time to refine the edges, pick out the inconsistencies in the tone, and scan my eyes through the portrait, looking for areas that might now be incongruous with the nose. In the hair, my goal is not to copy exactly what I see in the reference, but to suggest the appearance of hair as elegantly as I can. I will attempt to do this first by separating shadow and lights while working on the halftones in between. In the shadow, the values can be further broken down into a core shadow and reflected light. I am exaggerating this difference to increase the sense of volume and keying down my halftones to increase contrast. With most of the heavy lifting done, all that is left consists of the micro adjustments to aspects of the picture that call our attention. We have finally reached the end of this lesson. I hope this was much fun for you as it was for me. With the drawing concluded, now is a good time to analyze your likes and dislikes within the portrait, pat yourself on the back for making it through the whole lesson, and chart a course of action to remediate your present shortcomings. That's all for now. See you guys soon.